And we're singing. We're singing.
Dun, 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 dun.
Time to talk.
Bye-bye.
Beauty and the Bitch.
Yeah.
Mickey,
Why?
I have just a couple riddles, if you will.
Oh, shit. Let's turn out the lights and sit in the dark.
What has roots as nobody sees, is taller than trees? Up it goes, and yet never grows.
Childhood trauma.
Oh, it's a really poignant choice.
Uh-huh.
Very false, very false, very false.
Oh, okay. Mountain.
It is a mountain.
Oh, I'm brilliant.
Okay, just a few
oh my
more.
God.
Don't
Oh,
get
Jesus.
sassy now.
Okay, I'm not.
30 white horses on a red hill. First they champ, then they stamp, then they stand still.
White patriarchy.
Oh, so
Yeah.
true.
Yep. You're welcome, America.
Mm.
You know what I think those are actually, though? Teefses.
Teefsy's precious.
Yes. How many 30 white horses? What about 28 stained and broken horses?
Well, we only have 9 precious.
You only have 9 teeth?
Well, that's what
Morgan.
Gollum said.
Oh, Morgan just admitted that she only has 9 teeth. I knew.
Final riddle. What's in my pocket?
7.5 inches.
Oh.
Oh,
Girl, it's more like 3.
oh, baby, but
And
that's
it's just
big for a
inflamed.
clit. Yeah.
Welcome back to another episode of Beauty and the Bitch, babies. You're here with Morgan.
And inflamed clitoris.
Oh, also known as Mick.
You know, some people call me that. Some
You know, he
people.
has a multitude of nicknames. We are here, of course, for a part 2 episode to talk about The Hobbit, the Desolation of Smaug.
Boom, boom, boom.
And we have some fucking feelings, to be totally honest, because a lot goes on in this movie version, which is the second unnecessary installment of a movie that could have just been one thing. And they took some liberties.
Yeah, you could even go so far as to say like half of this movie is created for this movie.
Literally just nonsense they made up. And of those changes, this was actually only my second viewing of The Hobbit, Desolation of Smaug ever. First time in theaters, and that was like 4 years ago, and now I'm like just watching it again for this. And on my first viewing, there were so many things I didn't like about the changes they made, but on a reviewing, I found that I didn't mind some of the things as much, and I even, dare say, liked some of it.
You're talking about Orlando Bloom, aren't you?
No, but it was a good call to CGI his face and make him look younger, though.
Was it a good call? Because now he looks like a scary android monster person.
Well, now he looks like how he feels inside.
You know what? Well, yes, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
What would be a better choice is just to have him be a very short...
Oh, you mean like in The Hobbit?
Yeah.
Where it's like
yeah.
virtually non-existent?
Yeah, where he's like not in it at all. If they wanted to put him in, just, you know what? He's in one scene. He shouldn't have like a whole storyline again.
I agreed.
That's what I think.
Agreed. And they did it, of course, as fan service, right? Oh, look, it's Orlando Bloom. He's back. Legolas, we love him. But first of all, it wasn't the same. And Legolas in this movie, he was a lot more mean.
Yeah, he's an asshole just like his dad.
Yeah,
Just like
well, yeah. Ooh, you know, I really like that actor Lee Pace that they cast as his dad. What's his dad's name?
Thorondil.
Yes. The Lee Pace, he's having kind of a resurgence, kind of in like the last 5 or 6 years, where he's getting a lot of kind of good villainous sort of roles. And I'm really feeling it for him.
He really rocks the like beautiful villain.
He's very regal.
And I have to say, you know what? That's something I actually liked about the movie as opposed to the book is Thorondil in the book has pretty much no character. He has no personality. He's a villain-ish.
Yeah.
I mean, leads the dwarves to Smaug and lets them all die. Like, that happens in the books. But he doesn't have this whole backstory and all this interest. And, like, that part where his face goes away and you see his face.
Oh, that was intriguing.
It was. It was like what we saw Old King do, but backwards.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
oh, yeah. Theoden.
Yeah, it's like Theoden, but backwards.
Yeah. You know what I realized? Theoden fucking Benjamin Buttoned. That's what happened.
He did Benjamin Button. You're right.
Yeah.
He went from Theoden to Galadriel.
Aww.
And this motherfucker went from Thorondil to...
The Witch King Admar.
Yeah.
It was scurry.
But I like that. At least he had a character to hate.
Sure.
You know, if you hated him.
And he was... Do you think he's like... It's weird because it's like... Is he beautiful? Like, is he attractive? Because he's, like, very beautiful and regal, but, like, I can't honestly, like, understand. Because his eyebrows are really big.
He does have really big eyebrows. Also, his wig is horrible. I mean, it's a fine wig.
His crown is baller, though.
I love his crown. And that fucking elk that he rides around.
Yes.
I'll tell you one thing these Hobbit movies did right. Battle animals.
Yeah.
We had so many, and I was down for every single one. I love
Classy AF.
Girl.
Yeah, he looked... Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
He looked good.
He looked good in, like, his flowing robes. Like, the costume department really kind of stepped it up,
I would say that's one positive thing I can say about the Hobbit movies. Costumes, great.
Yeah,
the
they really
costumes
nailed that.
All the way through. Let's see. Oh my God, there's so much to talk about. Okay, you know what? Can we just leap right in? What do you think about the Tauriel romance? Invented for the movies.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, so upon a first viewing, Tauriel was one of the things I absolutely hated most. But let me put you in circa 2013, Morgan. I had, like, recently just watched... like Lost, or I was like in the middle of Lost. And so the actress that plays Tauriel, she was Kate in Lost. And I hated her. I hated Kate.
You just blew my mind. I never made that connection. Okay, go ahead.
I was over it. Kate and Jack, like, I wanted her dead. I was just, like, done with her story. So when I saw her as Tauriel, I was like, first of all, they done gone and mate up this, like, lady elf to get some lady elf business up in here and try to make way for Orlando Bloom and try to make this a plausible fucking storyline. And then they done shipped her with my favorite sexy dwarf. And then that bitch was just all up in that story. And I was not into it. But let me tell you, 4 years removed from that, and right after I watched the first Hobbit, where I was extremely critical upon a rewatch, I actually found that I did not mind the Tauriel storyline, and that I liked her much better than Legolas, like, as far as a character went, and I liked her empathy that she had for the dwarves, and also that she brought a new dimension to elves, because, like, a lot of times the elves that we get to see, you know, kind of besides Arwen, they're all very, like, flat, one-dimensional, like, very selfish people, and so I felt like she brought something a little different. And also, I love romance. And I think when I was watching this, which was last night, I was just, like, in the mood to see a little romance. So when they touch their little hands at the end and he says that sweet thing about it can't be Tauriel, she's out there, like, walking among the stars, and then he holds her hand and he said, but could she learn to love me? No. It literally gave me the chills, and I was like, literally, it's a fucking dwarf and a fucking elf and a fake ass romance that wasn't even in the books, and it really made me feel for them. So, you know what? I'm feeling it.
You know what, Queen? I agree with everything you said. At first, even when I started these notes, I was going to go in on them.
Yeah, good. Just take them down.
But you know what? You're right. It's nice to see an elf and a dwarf fall in love. Mm-hmm. That's nice, especially in the world today when we're so eager to note the things that set us apart as opposed to the things that bring us together, right? I agree with you that their romance actually really touched me. Mm-hmm. And I love Lil Killy. And I love him with Tauriel. And I think they would have made a real sexy baby.
Yeah. Question though, could they make a real sexy baby?
Well, that's a good question. We've never seen a half elf, half dwarf.
No, we've seen humans. Humans and elves.
Humans and elves. We haven't even seen humans and dwarves though, have we?
No.
Because dwarves were originally made of rock. I bet they probably couldn't. But maybe with a wizard's
intriguing.
Help you know, like maybe
like Gandalf starts an in vitro fertilization like business.
With his staff.
Yeah.
With his staff.
He just shoves it up under there. You got a baby. And then it's actually just a little Gandalf. And he's like, oops. I fucked you.
He comes out wearing the great hat. I don't know, though. All in all, I'm with you. I would have been down for the Tauriel romance and then just cut Orlando Bloom altogether. Because that's where the trio, that love triangle thing, I was over that from the minute it
Indeed.
began.
And you know what? He didn't even care about her until she, feigned interest in fucking Keeley.
Exactly, because he just wants what he can't have.
That was annoying.
Ugh.
That was really annoying. And, well, I don't know if I like this, but one thing they did with Orlando Bloom is when he was talking to, Gloin, Gimli's father, he found the little portrait that Gloin had, and he was like, "What's this pile of fucking garbage?" And he's like, "That's my little lad, Gimli." So that was kind of a cute callback, even though it was unnecessary.
Yeah. See, now I think that something like that should have been the whole of Orlando.
That could have been it. Yeah.
Honestly, because that was the fan service we needed. What we didn't need, I'm not really a Legolas or Orlando Bloom fan at all, but what we didn't need is to go back in and muddy up his original performance, which was only okay in the first place.
Which was basic at best.
Yes, exactly. With this horrible shit pile. It looks like he's gotten into a horrible car accident and his face has been reconstructed.
It is really weird.
Which would be really sad if it actually happened. I wouldn't mention it. But it didn't happen.
Yeah, literally they were just like, we have to cover up your crow's feet. And also all of this.
Yeah, exactly. They essentially gave him a young Orlando Bloom mask to wear.
Yeah. How do you think that makes him feel? Because they didn't do that to Gandalf. Ian McKellen looks a little more haggard in these films. I'm a little as being kind.
Yeah,
he looks a lot more haggard than his original Gandalf. And you know what I heard? That he wants to reprise his role of Gandalf in the Lord of the Rings Amazon series that's coming. And I'm like, literally, no one could be Gandalf better than you, but you were haggard.
Yeah. But you know what? I say if he wants to do it, let's do it. Because he'll always be Gandalf for me, so why?
Listen.
Why?
Listen.
Why?
So, Jude Law's been cast as a young, sexy Dumbledore. Who would be a young, sexy Gandalf? Go with me here.
Okay.
Eddie Redmayne.
Yes! Yes, I'm down. Why? Because I fucking love Eddie Redmayne, and I don't know if I really see it, but I don't care.
Well, because he's really good at, having different face situations going, so I think that he could really Daniel Day-Lewis it and, really find the right framework to be a young Ian McKellen, Because, when he did The Danish Girl, he did it. And when he did Stephen Hawking, he did it.
He did that shit hard.
So why couldn't he do an Ian McKellen?
I think he could.
And
And he certainly is sexy. There is no doubt there.
Maybe someone a little more gruff, though. He does have, that very lovely, dainty British voice.
Well, but maybe if he started off dainty, because let's say it started with him just getting to Middle Earth, right? Sent there as a crazy angel thing. He could do that really well, and then maybe he would just have to. He
would be so hot as a young Gandalf.
Oh,
I've literally never thought of a young Gandalf, literally ever in my life. He's always been an old man until right now, and I just realized his fuckability.
Oh yeah,
the meter is off the charts
all the time. That Ian McKellen Gandalf is fuckable.
Well,
you
Ian
have
McKellen
to see
Gandalf,
past the beard and the dirt.
Yeah, but but think of him as in his youth.
Oh, I'm thinking things right now that if you could see
it's
them,
bad.
Girl, I'm thinking some very graphic, vivid things.
Me too.
It involves, does he wear underwear under all those skirty robes?
No.
I don't think he does.
Nope, he's Scottish Highlanders, that shit. Not a thing.
He just carried me around between his thighs. No one even needs to know I'm there.
Interesting.
Can we, speaking of one hot guy, can we talk about Benedict Cumberbatch's Smaug? We talked about it a little bit last episode, but
he really brought the sultry.
Oh my god, yeah. And if you look at a picture of him, I've got a Marry Fuck Kill for you later, and I know you know what he looks like also, but they used his face to make Smaug. He looks kind of like the dragon.
Yeah.
Or the dragon.
He's very reptilian.
He is. Well, and you may have heard this, girl. He did a bunch of Andy Serkis movement work with that suit with the ping pong balls.
Yeah.
To get the movements of Smaug down.
That checks out.
Yeah, and so even though of course they couldn't really use him to make Smaug, they did use some of his serpentine movements and certainly the bone structure of his face.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow. Yeah, he really crushed it. Like we said in our previous episodes, Smaug is probably the highlight of this whole series next to Martin Freeman as Bilbo, who is classic and amazing. They really brought it for the design of Smaug, and everything was just executed really well. Nothing was too overdone or too fake or too like abrupt. It was very like subtle and enticing and like enigmatic and like ominous. He was very ominous.
Beautiful moments. Like him flying above the city is gorgeous. The death shot, of course, really we see in the next movie, but, you know, it's the end of this story. His death shot into the lake is gorgeous. When he bursts out of that that golden pool or whatever, and he's covered in that gold.
That was a beautiful.
And that's completely invented for the movie.
Yeah.
That was a great invention.
That was. I don't mind that at all. It was very, very lovely.
Because, girl, in the books, those fucking dwarves don't do anything.
It's a Bilbo show all day.
Girl.
And the Smaug show.
Yes, it is.
And then he's dead.
Yeah, it's the Bard and the Smaug show, slightly the Bilbo show in that moment.
Yeah.
But not the dwarf show at all. They literally wait until the dragon leaves, destroys Lake Town, then they crawl into the mountain, then old Thorin gets touched by his old craziness, and then, you know, Battle of the Five Armies happens. But they don't actually ever fight the dragon anyway, so I loved that. I love seeing them get to fight, and I have to tell you, that easy-bake golden statue they made, I was fucking down for that
Yeah, it was
shit.
Intriguing.
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I like that too. Speaking of fan service and things they do just for us, we got to meet everybody's favorite invented elf at like Lord Elrond's council or whatever. What was his name? Figwit?
Figwit! That is totally his name! I can't believe you remembered that off the top of your head.
So we got to see Figwit. He was just fucking chilling in like Rivendell.
He's got like a line or two. It's real cute.
He's got like a bunch of lines.
And he didn't need no CG. Can I just say, Orlando Bloom?
Oh, you know those Kiwis, they age well.
He looks the exact same.
Brett McKenzie is timeless. Yeah, so that was kind of cute. It was like unnecessary, but it was just like everyone was excited when he was there.
Look, if you're gonna bloat this movie into 3 movies, why not add in every little bit of fancy?
Why not?
There was also, and you didn't know about this, it's so brief, but Stephen Colbert has a cameo.
I did not know about this.
He plays like a fisherman type, and there's a pan when Bard is smuggling all the dwarves into Lake Town. There's a pan of like some dirty fisherman type, and he's one of them. It is almost impossible to notice unless you know he's there.
Peter Jackson had a cameo in Desolation of Smaug too in the beginning when they're at there's like a scene at the Prancing Pony, and he reprises his cameo from the Fellowship of the Ring where he steps out of the doorway eating a carrot, like when a different set of hobbits are on the way to the Prancing Pony. So, anyways, it was just like kind of a like mirror image of his original very first Lord of the Rings cameo. So I appreciated that.
That's really cute.
And he looks really different now because he's much thinner.
He lost all that weight.
Yeah. So that's cute.
I tend to prefer celebrities when they're chubbier. You know, like Al Roker. I mean, I know for their own health and whatever, and like, who cares what I think anyway. But like Al Roker, I much preferred him when he was bigger. And also Star Jones. I think she's scary thin. I'm sorry, but I just do. I do. I'm very uncomfortable.
He said it.
I said it, and I stand by it.
Girl.
Another thing I would like to say and stand beside. Look, girl. Now, we talked about some good invention. We talked about some bad invention. Another character they really added a lot to was Bard.
Yeah.
Because in the books, he doesn't... There's actually not much of a story. We don't see his family. The smuggling scenes don't really go down the same way. Like, it's all very different.
Yeah.
If they wanted to invent things and update this story, which I'm into, why did they not make Bard a woman? Bard...
Oh, that would have been great.
Because we've got so few female heroines in this world, and there's literally no reason in the books for him to be a man, except for the fact that he is a man. And wouldn't a single mother have been just as touching as a single father?
More touching.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I just feel like they really missed... Now, they didn't do any queer romances, but you know what? I can get over it, like, whatever. But at least they should have made Bard a woman. Because they're changing so much. Why not? That would have been such a bone to all
I never even thought about that. Would have been a great change.
Wouldn't that have been good? Oh my gosh. Peter Jackson, I'm available if you'd like me to write your movies. Girl.
So, and that guy they got to play him, he... is kind of having a resurgence right now too, or like a first-time surgence. He was a villain turned kind of good person in the Fast and the Furious franchise. And then he also was Gaston recently in The Beauty and the Beast. And then he was also in Girl on the Train as like a person that you're like, you're not sure if he's good or not. Because he's kind of that person where it's like, you can't tell if he's good or not. Like, and I kind of feel sad for him because it's like, are you hot or are you going to murder me? I literally don't know.
I think he's... Now, as Gaston, I have to tell you, I was all about him.
Wasn't he great?
So sexy as Gaston. But the thing is, he's got that steely gaze. He's got, like, really nice high cheekbones. But then he also has what I think of as the douchebag chin.
Yeah.
That chin that sticks out, like, really far. Which, no offense to anyone who has it. I have plenty of douchebag traits myself. But when you put all that together, he doesn't look like a leading man. He really does kind of look more like a villain.
Yeah, he looks like a villain.
Yeah.
But, like, maybe he's a really nice guy.
I'm sure he is a really nice... And his performance was fine. I mean, the writing they gave him is not much to work with, I didn't think. But he was fine. He didn't detract. I do like in general that they fleshed him out. Just like, what's his name? Thurin... I can't remember how to say his name. Thranduil? Thranduil.
Yes.
Legolas' father. Dad. Yeah. I like that they fleshed him out some. Instead of just inventing a whole new character like they did with Tauriel. Can we talk about old Lickspittle, who's also known as Alfred, another invented character?
Oh, fuck. Yes. I think we probably feel the same way about him because he is literally like Grimmer Wormtongue, right?
He is. He's like Wormtongue's little brother.
But like less nuanced. He's just like a dick for no reason.
Yeah, and somehow grosser to me.
Yeah.
Like, even... Like, with Wormtongue, I always got the feeling that, yes, he was very gross, and, like, his hair was dirty, but I got the feeling he would smell like some kind of gross oil. Like, he rubbed himself in oil. Whereas this
he's just
Lickspittle
nasty.
guy, just nasty, like fish
and his name?
and butt. Yeah, Alfred Lickspittle.
Gross.
That's his name. Yeah. It was a horrible throwaway character.
He was very throwaway. Like, that's one of the great things about Wormtongue is that, like, he's an awful person, but he's so fascinating and so nuanced, and that actor that portrayed him did such an amazing job.
And
like everyone in Lord of the Rings.
Character.
Yeah.
Like the things he does are hugely important to the overall story.
Yeah. So this was a definitely like watered down version of him, for sure.
It was so horrible. And can I just ask you, why does everyone keep trusting that motherfucker? This will come in more in the third. But like, everybody doesn't trust this whiny little man, and it's very obvious that he is not trustworthy. Stop trusting him. I think it's in this movie that Bard trusts him with his children. Maybe it's beginning of the next movie. I watched them all together.
Yeah.
But like, do not trust Lickspittle with your children. Are you insane?
No.
Better to let them run free. Better to chop off their legs at the knee and let them run free than leave them with this stupid villain.
You know, you've always been great at giving parenting advice.
And I always say, chop them off at the knee.
Well,
that's the first step.
That's a good plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he sucked.
He was just horrible. I mean, you know what didn't suck, though, in my opinion?
Tell me.
Is all the appendix-centric wizarding battling that they put in. I love seeing that.
Yeah, that was good. And, like, it's good to get more wizard always because, like, Gandalf so often is a behind-the-scenes character, or he's like, I'm going to go off and do some incredibly important things that you'll never really know anything about, but then I'll be back, you know? Mm-hmm. So it was really good to get glimpses of, like, his journey when he leaves. And to, I guess, get more Radagast. It's good to see him and, like, talk to him.
Well, yeah. You know, it's sad. That was what I was most excited about, was more Radagast. The way they did him, he's
just bonkers.
Yeah, and like, it's kind of how they did Gimli in Lord of the Rings. Like, when you're always the comic relief.
Yeah.
I get tired of that.
It's hard to take you seriously.
Yeah, I get really tired of that.
You know what I don't appreciate, though, is like, this, like, encounter with Sauron that Gandalf goes through.
Yeah.
I just, like, to me, it's, like, negating for the Fellowship to have, like, all of this Sauron-centric stuff, because that's not what The Hobbit is about. Mm-hmm. And even though Bilbo does find the ring, which is, of course, immensely important to the story of The Lord of the Rings, that's not what The Hobbit is about. And so we get all this stuff, and Gandalf encounters Sauron, but then we see him 50 years later or whatever in the next one, and he's just like, oh, what's this buzz about Sauron? That's unusual. I don't know. I'll go poke around. Really? Because you just talked to him 50 years ago. I don't know why you're so surprised, apparently.
I felt like in the appendix, it was a little bit more like, they made it very clear that like when they beat him, they didn't realize he was Sauron. Whereas in the movies, they were like, oh, it's a necromancer. And then when they were actually fighting him at the very end, my feeling was they were like, oh, damn, he's really strong. This is weird. Kick him out. Hope that wasn't Sauron. Whereas,
good luck.
Yeah, like, bye. You know, which is an amazing Galadriel moment where she just like oomphs him out and he flies away.
So, and that's in the third movie?
Oh, is that in the third?
Yeah, because that's the battle. No, that's fine. I'm sorry. In the second one, we just get him like, he has this like mirror moment where he like sees Sauron. He like walks out in this like red eye. The imagery was beautiful.
Was really cool. Him walking out of the pupil blew me away.
The imagery was on point. But the encounter is just what I had a problem with. Because I just felt like it was distracting from what the point of it was, personally.
And that's the thing. If you were to cut we can leave Tauriel. Let's go ahead and make Marta woman while we're at it.
Why not?
Cut Legolas almost altogether. And actually, because now we have a TV series coming up, right? Mm. They didn't know this at the time, I'm sure. But if we could go back and change it, cut all this wizarding stuff, make that the TV series. And make that its own thing.
You know what I think they're going to do?
What?
So they're going to do this Lord of the Rings TV series. You only have so much story. I mean, there's a lot of story.
Well, but go ahead.
But then... Wait, do you know something?
Yes, but I don't want to interrupt you.
Well, I was just going to say, but then they should do a whole, like, epilogue series that's just the appendices. And, like, the Lost Tales. And they could probably just call it, like, the Lost Tales.
Well, the thing about that is, okay, so the appendices, Lord of the Rings appendices are on the table. The thing is, they only had, until earlier this year, for sure the rights to Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, and the appendices of Lord of the Rings. But... so we really don't know what's going to be in the TV show because Christopher Tolkien stepped down in August of 2017 as the head of the Tolkien estate. He was the one who didn't want to sell Unfinished Tales or Silmarillion, which is why we've never seen those stories. He hated the movies.
He didn't like the Peter Jackson movies?
He hated them, which is mind-blowing to me, but, you know, it's his father's...
Well, he's going to be extremely critical.
He is, and that's fine. I think he's being a little silly because, well, whatever, it doesn't matter. But anyway, he stepped down, so there's a good to great chance
that's incredible.
That they're going to get to buy the rights to the next two. So then, yeah, it could be Unfinished Tales. It could be Silmarillion stuff.
Because there's so much, and like that would be a great like mini series because it could be episodic. Like every tale could stand on its own. You know, we could see Beren and Luthien for an hour and a half, and then we can move on to something else in the next one.
They could do seasons like American Horror Story.
Yes.
Right? They could do episodic episodes. I mean, and they've got Aragorn's childhood to cover. That's definitely something they do. We've already talked about Gandalf. Yeah. There's Gandalf. I think they should go back and redo this necromancer battle.
I think so too.
I think they should just redo that because it was badly done in these movies. But yeah, I'm really excited for the TV show, and we don't know a lot yet.
I'm worried they're gonna fuck it up, but I'm also just excited at the prospect because who doesn't want / need more Lord of the Rings, right?
Always.
And if they do it well. Like, shut up and take all of my money. And all the great, like, we're going to get, like, a resurgence of, like, really cool, like, Lord of the Rings paraphernalia, like, saturated in our market. The way Star Wars is right now, but with Lord of the Rings, which is, of course, what I live for.
And they want it to be their version of Game of Thrones. So we can expect, like, beautiful costumes.
And if they don't fuck it up, it will be.
Yep. Beautiful imagery. Lots of incest, I'm sure.
I can't... Okay. No?
You were about to say you can't wait. Don't lie.
I can't wait for the show because I am excited about all those things except for the incest. I do wonder how they're going to address intimacy, though. Do you think they're going to keep it very PG? Because
no, I think it's going to be rated R.
You think so?
I think it's going to be like...
Because there's definitely a lot more to be done with Arwen and Aragorn if we want to go there.
Yes. Yeah. So
and Gimli and Legolas.
Yeah, exactly. Gross. We can just leave that off screen, actually. I never want to see that. But I am interested in that. And I'm excited to see if they do episodic in some way. What I'm afraid of is they're going to try to make up something completely new and just set it in Middle-earth. And I'm not going to be
like, they need to listen that we're not interested in that.
No, I don't want no fucking more made-up Tauriels. No more Killy Tauriel romances. I will tell you, I'm also going to be really upset if any of the TV show is like the fucking barrel battle that happened in this movie.
You didn't like that.
Not only did I not like it, it infuriated me. It is one of those like blockbuster scenes where it's all action, there's very little thought, it's not witty, it's not smart, and it lasted for like 20 minutes.
It was really long. I got up during that and like went and did stuff and came back.
I can't even. And that's one of the things when I talk about the broke down pace, that 20-minute barrel battle in the middle of the movie, bad move. Bad
also,
choice.
like Bilbo let them down in the barrels. Like, oops, so here's a trapdoor. And then he knew he needed to be down there, but then it took him like 5 more minutes to like get down there.
Yeah.
And that was unnecessary.
There was it's pacing problems. Another great example of pacing problems in this movie specifically, the Moonlight Letters, much later where they actually get to the mountain.
Mountain. Yes.
Because, you know, in the books...
Oh, yeah, the dwarves leave for a long... In the movie, they leave, and that went on for too long.
That's all made up. In the
also,
books,
they gave up so fast.
Yeah!
They're like, we came all this way. Oh, well!
It's over. Do you telling me there's not no hidey hole in that whole mountain? No little... They gave up way too fast. Didn't make sense. And then you had that, it was like, all of a sudden it was this quiet moment, and you were like, this is supposed to be the climax. And then the moon. In the books, it's just the last bit of sunlight. That's all it is. It works great. There's no need to make another oh shit moment there.
Yeah.
And then make these fucking Moonlight Letters. It does make sense logically, because that's the last bit of the sun on that day. Like, I get it, but it's unnecessary.
Yeah.
And that's the whole fucking, that's all of them. They're just unnecessary.
Well, dude, if Christopher Tolkien didn't like The Lord of the Rings, he definitely hated The Hobbit.
I don't even want to hear what
I wonder if he even sat through it. He probably got up during, like, the first 10 minutes of the first one and just, like, left and never came back.
He definitely pieced out.
Yeah, there's no way he made it.
So Morgie, I've got kind of a weird thing. I know I talked a bunch of shit about this, but there is one scene that's in this movie that's actually my favorite scene from The Hobbit.
Oh.
Yeah? Do you think you can guess what it is? You know me pretty well. Relatively well.
Your favorite scene from The Hobbit.
Mm-hmm.
It was in this one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is it Smaug and Bilbo?
Okay, that's a really good guess, because that is a really good scene. It's the scene where they're traveling through Mirkwood, and they send Bilbo up to the top of the tree.
Oh, right.
And he puts his head above the forest. So if it's not too lame, I pulled out just a paragraph.
Oh, not at all.
This is like, oh, I love this part. So Bilbo's up at the top of the tree. In the end, he poked his head above the roof of leaves, and then he found spiders all right. But they were only small ones of ordinary size, and they were after the butterflies. Bilbo's eyes were nearly blinded by the light. He could hear the dwarves shouting up at him from far below, but he could not answer, only hold on and blink. The sun was shining brilliantly, and it was a long while before he could bear it. And when he could, he saw all round him a sea of dark green, ruffled here and there by the breeze, and there were everywhere hundreds of butterflies. I expect they were a kind of purple emperor, a butterfly that loves the tops of oak woods, but these were not purple at all. They were a dark, dark, velvety black, without any markings to be seen. I don't know why, but that specifically that paragraph is imprinted in my brain.
It's really beautiful.
I just love it. Because they're having so much trouble in those woods. At this point, they've been in the woods for like 10 days. They're lost. They're running out of everything. But then he pokes his head above, and it's just like a beautiful sunny day. And like, there are butterflies.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's very optimistic.
Well, and it gives him like perspective too, because
Yes.
he's on this like kind of like dingy quest, and he's like annoyed, and like things are not going well, but like above it all there's still just like beautiful life happening all around, and like it's kind of worth it.
And it's just like nature.
Yeah.
It's just a nature thing. Yeah. Oh.
So the other thing that should be your favorite is Bilbo and Smaug hanging out.
Oh yeah.
Because that was filmed so beautifully. Like everything under the mountain, I feel like they really checked in on that to make sure it looked good. Because the CGI and stuff in there is like much better than in the rest of the film.
Yes.
Especially Smaug. He looks amazing, and they're like witty banter back and forth, which first of all, Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman, famously a famous duo for Sherlock and Watson. And so they already have really great chemistry. So it's like really, I think, also fan service, but just like it's just really great to see them together and have like this dynamic going on. And Martin Freeman crushed all those scenes where he was trying to get the Arkenstone. It was so good.
There's a moment. It's so indicative of his strength as an actor to me. It's when Smaug is finally raising his head and could see him for the first time. And Bilbo / Martin Freeman is like running down a pile of gold, right? You might know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And there's a moment where he knows he's not hidden, but he kind of goes to one knee and tries to look very casual.
Nothing to see here.
Yeah. And it so perfectly captures how I feel like Bilbo, because Bilbo doesn't really know anything but niceties. You know, he's not truly.
Which really serves him well when he's like, I have to call you the Magnificence and many other things.
Exactly. And when he gives in names to himself as well, right? He flatters Smaug, but then he also gives himself
the riddle maker and all that stuff.
And the spinner killer. Something to do with spiders.
Yeah.
But it's such a, you're right, it's one of the best scenes.
It's really
in
good.
The movie.
Solid.
And a great scene in the books, too.
Yeah. So that was really enjoyable.
You know what they changed, though?
Everything.
Left out? Well, yeah. They left out of the movies, but I'm shocked they did. In the books, Smaug's underbelly is naturally bare and vulnerable, and he coats it with gems. He, like, lies on gems until they stick to his body.
Which is pretty baller, but also a little tacky.
It's a little tacky, but I think that could have been really beautiful. And it's a big part of his, like, character is that he's got all of these gems all over his body. So when he flies above you, he's horrible, but he's also gorgeous, right?
Yeah.
He's wearing like a sparkling waistcoat. But in the movies, he's just got like a place where one scale fell off.
Which is...
It's much more drab.
Well, and also, like, nobody's that good of a shot.
Also, especially if you're... I mean, not to pick apart, you know, a battle scene in a fantasy movie full of dwarves and dragons.
But how implausible.
I mean, but it really was. I mean, he has the fucking giant ass arrow, which doesn't look like it would fly straight, first of all. It looks bent as fuck. He's got it on his son's shoulder. This is in the third movie, I'm sorry. But whatever. It's the dragon. And he fires it off of his son's shoulder. By the way, that would break his son's shoulder.
Literally.
And the tower they're on is literally leaning and on fire. No, Queen. No. Also,
it's a bit much.
Those buildings that are already on fire would not be able to hold up Smaug. You know when he's walking down towards them? The girl... I'm sorry, but you just stretching it too far. I was down for the orcs, but I ain't down for this laws of physics.
We won't stand for it. Dragons on burning buildings do not mix.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. That's the second subtitle of this movie. The Hobbit: Desolation of Smaug. Another : It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So, Morgie, now, our last episode, I hit you with top 10 most powerful heroes of Middle Earth, Third Age.
Yes.
Do you have any interest in a top 10 most powerful villains?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to be straight up with you. I did slightly less research on this one.
Perfect.
So, if you think I'm being crazy, you just let me know.
I will.
Okay, and I'll go let the air out of your tires.
Oh.
So, number 10, top 10 most powerful villains. I chose just like a really big Urukai. Like a really strong, meaty, beefy one, right? Because they're mad powerful, and they're genetically predisposed to be killing machines.
Yeah,
right?
And in general, we see them like wrecking shit up, so that checks out.
Exactly. Okay, so number 9, and this is the only one I cheat in, okay? Because this is a bunch of things together. But I put an Oliphant loaded up with Easterlings. Because that seems like a pretty powerful foe, right?
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, and they've got those spikes and like things attached, and they'll stomp you.
And then Oliphant don't care.
They're pretty scary.
Right? Okay, so that's my number 9. Number 8, most powerful villain, good old mountain troll. Girl, those mountain trolls. And there were some in this damn Hobbit movie, they got bigger. I don't know how they done got bigger.
Yeah.
But they're fucking huge.
I'm scared.
Yeah, I'm scared.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're gonna eat you.
They are gonna eat you. Me, not you. You, not me. We're both dead.
We're dead.
Yeah, we're dead. Okay, number 7. Ooh, this was a good one, but I don't know about the placement. I put the Watcher in the Water, who we see in Lord of the Rings.
Yes, ooh.
Because we don't know about her. All we know about that beast is that somehow, because Gandalf says it, it came up from those, like, under mountain lakes and shit.
That's some, like Shelob ancient magic shit.
Yeah, exactly. And does it die in the movies / the books? It just goes away, right?
Yeah.
They get away from... Oh, yeah, and it pulls it down so they can't go back.
Yeah.
So it's still alive. It's one of the only things on this list that's actually... It isn't killed by the company. One of the companies. Okay. Watcher in the Noir, number 7. Number 6, you know I love this person. The good old mouth of Sauron. With his teeth that do like that.
He is like, yeah, or sometimes like a vagina, like.
Yeah, because they played with all different ways of doing his teeth.
Yeah, Mouth of Sauron's good because it like puts the fear in you, but also like you won't sleep at night anyways if you look at him, even if you don't hear what he says.
That's true. He will haunt your dreams.
Yeah,
That's
either
okay.
way, yeah.
Well, but and also he's a black Numenorian. So he's essentially like the negative image of Aragorn.
Yeah.
So we don't, he even gets cut out of Lord of the Rings. Unless
he was only in the extended.
He's only in the extended, but he's the second in command under Sauron. And he's very powerful. We just don't get to see it. It's kind of a bummer. It's a missed opportunity. Maybe the TV show could be about black Numenorians. That could be interesting.
Dude, they could have a whole episode at least.
Yes. Okay. Number 5, most powerful villain, Saruman. Now, I put him at number 5, but we've got some big hitters coming.
Yeah, we do.
But, he's powerful.
I'm fine with that.
Everybody knows Saruman. He does cocaine off his fingernails.
And crystal meth? I don't know. To be determined.
Number 4, Shelob.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the reason I put her
I was going to say, I'm kind of surprised.
She's not further up. Well, here's the thing, though. Shelob, she essentially gets beat by Sam. And I'm sorry. If Sam can beat you, you may be powerful, but you are not the most powerful.
But he had the power of love and friendship.
You know what? He had that Galadriel light, which is from the tree.
Elven artifacts.
Yeah, exactly. So, yes, that's true. But even so, no, Queen.
Yeah.
If Samwise Gamgee gets you...
Can't be too big.
Yeah, you ain't too big. Number 3, ring wraiths in general. Specifically, what do they call the head ring wraith? The one who can't be killed by man?
The Witch King?
The Witch King. Yeah. Specifically the Witch King.
Yeah.
All the ring wraiths all together. I think those ring wraiths could have killed anyone I said before.
Oh, absolutely.
Except maybe the Watcher in the Water. I don't know.
Well,
but he's hard to get.
Well, they don't like water,
That's true. So it's kind of just still name, really. Okay. Number 2, Smaug. The Great, the Terrible, gotta be.
The Magnificent.
The Magnificent. And then number 1, of course, has got to be Sauron.
Yeah, he is the ultimate evil, driving all the forces of nature.
Only because you're not in Middle-earth.
Yet.
Oh, shit. Those hobbits better trim their toes.
Oh, well, they should do that anyways.
Yeah, they should.
Feet are
frankly
far too
disgusted
large.
by their feet.
That was a really good list. And it is, interesting to think of, the tiers of power in Middle-earth because, in any given scenario, Shelob could be the most powerful being in, the fucking world, except, fucking Sauron or, some other bullshit that gets in the way,
Well, and what's really fascinating is in the movies, and this connects, in the movies... It's almost like Gandalf was never planning to leave the company in the Hobbit movies, and he's like, fuck, I can't get back to them. I have to fight the Necromancer. Well, girl, in the books, first of all...
He's like, girl, bye.
Yeah, it's it was always his plan, because he's looking at the bigger picture, and what he doesn't want is for Smaug to get into an alliance with the Necromancer, because they don't know the Necromancer is Sauron at that point, but they do know that those are essentially the 2 strongest evil beings in Middle-earth. And if they got together,
that's done.
Girl, no good can come of that.
Yeah.
So he actually sends the company off. It's kind of callous, actually, to distract Smaug while he's fighting the Necromancer.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty, that's actually a big change in his character, if you think about it. But, I get it. He's a politician who, is maybe lying to protect the country, or when you get that much power, sometimes you have to do morally iffy things.
Sure. So. Yeah, I know I do all the time.
Yeah, and you're powerless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am a woman.
That's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's change the
world. Okay. Now, Morgie, do you have anything else before we finish up with a quick little Marry, Fuck, Kill?
No, mostly I was surprised how much more I liked The Desolation of Smaug than An Unexpected Journey upon this rewatch. And I think it's because I was too salty when I saw the first one, so I lowered my expectations. And I enjoyed the second one more, though I did still find it meandering. But having so much smog, and there was a lot more exposition, it felt like. It was, things like had a point. And honestly, I was cool with Tauriel and Fili, and it really, like, just mindset-wise, just thinking I'm cool with that really changed things.
I could see how that would make a big difference.
So I'm excited to rewatch the third movie, which I remember seeing with you in the IMAX and, like, trying to convince myself that I liked, but also being like, ugh, and see how I feel about it now.
I cannot
So
wait.
we'll have to see in a couple weeks.
Okay, so Morgie, I agree with you in all things, as always. Who's shocked? I've got 4 marry, fuck, kills for you. I think they get harder as you go through.
Okay, I'm so ready.
And just think about how much this matters, Morgan.
Okay,
just think about
it's really important.
It's really hugely important.
Okay.
Okay, marry, fuck, kill. Thorin, Fili, Killy.
Okay, Thorin, Fili, Killy. You know what? Honestly, I kind of want to kill... This is tough, though, because they're brothers, and you can't fuck one and marry one, because it's awkward.
These are the 3 hot dwarves, by the way. These are the 3 hotties.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. Well, because it's the truth.
Yeah. I was going to say, how could you disagree?
It's really hard, because then if I kill Fili, Killy will be mad. But will he be more mad if I fuck him, or if I kill him? Which one do you think?
Probably kill him.
Okay, so I'm going to kill Thorin, because he just is really
He's
whiny.
also their king, though. I have to say, they're probably most upset about that, actually.
You know what? They'll get over it. And I'm gonna...
He dies anyway. Fuck him.
I'm gonna, fuck Fili and marry Keely. Because if Keely can love Tauriel, he can love me just as much. You know what I mean? I want to be his princess.
You're practically an elf princess. I've said that about you once when I was drunk.
That is so sweet.
Yeah, and you had that knife to my throat. Okay, moving on. Marry, fuck, kill. Bard, Legolas, Tauriel.
Okay, I want to marry Tauriel. She's the most tolerable person on that list. I'm gonna... Okay. I don't know if it's weird. No.
Probably is.
No, and I'll fuck Legolas because I harbor that, like, childhood sweetheart syndrome for him. But also, like, he's kind of insufferable, so I don't want to be around him, like, that long.
Yeah, I just snorted because I agreed
so much
with what you said.
Yeah, and then, of course, I'll kill Bard.
Bear. I'm with you.
Bard, who is a bear.
Yeah.
And, because he's scary.
No, Beowulf's the bear.
Oh!
Bard's the beard.
Wait, what? Who did I just kill? Either way, he's dead.
Yeah.
He's dead.
I'm into that. I would definitely kill Legolas, but you know how I feel about Legolas.
Yeah.
My hatred's real. Okay. Perhaps the most difficult so far.
Okay.
Marry, fuck, kill. Azog. Bolg, his son. Who's got the
gross one.
And Smaug. Azog, Bolg, Smaug.
Like, to be honest, I really don't want to fuck, like, any of them, but
Honey,
I know I have...
You know what it is to be a woman in today's society.
Well,
you don't get to choose not to fuck one. Girl.
And like, if I say I'm gonna fuck a dragon or something, like, it's kind of like, where is his dick even? You know what I mean?
I bet, kind of like in The Shape of Water, I read about this, I bet it's inside him. And it has to, like it comes out through a pouch or something.
That makes me uncomfortable.
I bet also his semen would be scaldingly hot.
You're so true. I'm gonna kill Smaug.
Yeah, I think
even though he would shower me with diamonds, but then he would kill me and take them back. You know,
yeah,
it's like
exactly.
not even worth it. Okay, he's dead.
Yeah.
Plus then I killed a dragon, so that's cool.
Yes.
Okay, and then I've got Azog and his, like, cracked out, jacked out son. So I guess I'll just fuck his son, because I'm not into him at all. And then Azog will be gone a lot because he's, like, a leader. So we'll just get married and I just won't have to deal with it really very frequently.
I think that's true. He's probably going to keep you home, like, in the goblin, like, holes, though. Or, like, maybe he'll let you hang out with the necromancer. There's an idea. Marry Azog and then
Be
use
the
him
mistress
to
to
step
Sauron?
up. Yes.
Oh, and then I'll Anne Boleyn that shit, and I'll just silently whisper in his ear how what he has isn't good enough, and he needs me. He needs me. And then I'll say it so much he'll think it's true. That's how I got my first husband.
Girl, that works in all cases, actually.
I feel good about my choices.
You're brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay, but I'm really going to make things difficult now.
Okay.
Because you're going to marry, fuck, kill those three again, but the actors who play them. Oh,
are you going to show me a picture?
So, first of all, and if you swipe, I've got pictures of all three, so you can just swipe through. So that's, I think his name is Manu Bennett. Not only does he play Azog, and he's actually quite beautiful, but he also plays Deathstroke in Arrow.
Oh, shit, he totally does.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then...
The next one up, his name is John Toohey. That's Bolg, the son. And, he's like a good-looking man. He's maybe not stunningly beautiful.
And then Benny.
And then, of course, you have Benedict Cumberbatch as Smaug.
Well, this is easy. I'm going to kill John Toohey, who's old Bolg or whatever.
He's huge. He's like 7-something.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to fuck Azog, that guy.
Manu Bennett, he's so sexy.
And then I'm going to marry Benny because I want to get that shit locked in.
Girl, I feel you right there.
Because I kind of feel like he's one of those people that's like, is he weird looking or is he sexy? But I lean hard towards sexy.
I always do. Well, frankly, who plays Galadriel? What's her name?
Oh, Cate Blanchett.
Cate Blanchett is famous for that face, right?
Yeah.
Which is like, she is stunningly beautiful, but she's also weird looking.
Yeah.
And what's the name of that woman who we both
Tilda
love?
Swinton.
Tilda Swinton's the same. They're all weird looking people, but they're striking and they're like perfect.
Yeah.
They're just odd alien looking almost. Yeah. I'm into that.
Me too. Oh, that was hard, but I still feel good about it.
I think you fucking killed it, girl.
Yeah.
I especially love you climbing the goblin steps.
I can't wait
becoming
for my nuptials to Sauron.
Girl!
It's gonna be lit!
Like, literally everything's on fire.
Yeah, like, don't come, you'll probably get murdered. But the wedding is gonna be off the chain. I'm so excited. Oh, I'm gonna look really good in red, which is my eternal color forever.
Red, black, bones.
Melisandre better watch out!
Girl, here she comes, this red witch. Well, sweet baby, do you have anything else for this old second pile of shit movie?
I don't, and I look forward to watching number 3 to see just where I fall with that, but it's been an experience, and thanks for joining us for part 2 of the unnecessary trilogy that we're doing of The Hobbit, much like Peter Jackson.
If you would like to follow us on social media, Morgan, I'm just going to do my one because I can't remember.
You got it.
I'm so sorry. Okay, so you can find me at bitofbella, bitofbella.wordpress.com. I do weekly accountability blogs there where I talk about what it's like to be a writer who is trying to make it in this world. And I also just talk a lot about myself, obviously. So if you're interested in that, you should check out that blog. And
if you want to hear more about the podcast, follow us on our social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, where they're at B&Bcast, or you can find us by looking up Beauty and the Bitch. Yeah. Follow me personally at Morgandolph, and check out our website where Mick and I are both blogging and giving you all the deets, bnbcast.wordpress.com. Mick, what's making you happy? You got us a pop culture plug for today?
You know what? I sure enough do. Now, I might be a little dated with this, but I love a game. Right? I'm a big old gamer, and I recently finally purchased The Witcher 3 for my Xbox.
Yes.
Girl, if you know games at all, you already know about this game, but this is a stunning open world RPG. Absolutely beautiful graphics, really enthralling, and many think the best RPG that has ever been made. And I actually think I agree with them. I think it's the best RPG that has ever been made in the world. Witcher 3 specifically, because there are 2 before it. If you are interested in watching someone play through The Witcher, I am actually starting a Let's Play of Witcher 3. By the time you listen to this, it probably will already be live. But if something happens and all my fingers and toes fall off and I can't get it out, it'll be coming soon. So you should get hyped for that shit, even if you don't necessarily want to play the game yourself.
Yes, looking so forward to that. And while you wait for that or get your life in order, you guys can check out The Crown on Netflix. Season 2 just dropped in the middle of December, and I binge watched in like 5 seconds. And if you're really into like boring British royal shit, which I definitely am, then that show is for you. And I love Claire Foy, who plays Queen Elizabeth. This is her last season to reprise her role. And in season 3, they're going to jump forward 2 decades, and she's been recast as an older woman.
Oh, are you going to play her?
Yes. But the point of The Crown is to follow Queen Elizabeth through the end of her reign and her life. Probably she's like 91 or 92, so it's not improbable that she'll be dead by the end of this. And fun fact, her son Andrew insisted that she watch it, and she watched season 1 and she gave her approval and said that she loved it.
Oh, so sweet.
Right? And it's really fun to hear Claire Foy talk in her very curt and smart British accent, and she sounds a lot like a Dolores Umbridge meets like a lady with a stick up her butt, which is essentially how Queen Elizabeth must live her everyday life.
No, I don't understand why they didn't let me on The Crown with my spotless English accent.
Yes, it's very confusing.
So even though I'm not on that, you should probably still watch it because people are raving about it.
Yeah, it's really good. Check it out. And we will see you next week, babies.
Oh, baby.
Bye-bye. We love you.
I love you more.
What?
Do you have a home? Beauty in the bed.
You
look.
Beauty in the bed. Beauty in the bed.
You're
Bye.